The Locky two-step comes through for us last week as two of our most confident spots ended up coming through for us as Mick Parkin and Trey Ogden cashed the plus 188 ticket for us. I got a little bit overzealous with the Locky Trinity and threw in Luis Pajuelo there as we had an underdog the previous week cashed for us in the Locky Trinity. Got a little bit too cocky and Pajuelo ended up making us rip up our Locky Trinity ticket. But the Locky two-step is absolutely alive and kicking it in 2024. So very happy about that. Very happy about all the new people that are hopping onto this segment and tailing that parlay. Appreciate all the love and support. Remember, if you want the early access to that parlay, I drop it to the Patreon folks on Monday so we get a better line. Just for an example, last week we got plus 188 on the Locky two-step compared to the plus 181 that it was come fight time. Again, small difference, but in the long run, it ends up making a difference. This weekend, you will obviously see that difference as well in terms of the line movement on the three legs that I'm going to give you guys here. Much better earlier this week, and another reason as to why it's probably best to hop on the Patreon page, especially if you enjoy tailing this parlay. It ends up making up for itself, especially considering how well it's doing as of now. All right. Let's get right into it. Actually, quickly, reminder, today is Friday. We got ACA today. We got LFA tonight. If you're looking for breakdowns for those, they're on the Patreon page. So check that out with the link in the description below. And then tomorrow, Cage Warriors as well. So if you want access to that, same thing for that. That's where you'll also find the free parlay for you guys on Mondays. All right, let's get into it. First step in the Locky two-step is going to be Jacob Malkoun as he takes on Andre Petroski. Now, both guys are grapplers, but it's clear that Malkoun has a motor and gas tank advantage in this matchup, and his ability to continuously scramble, stay out of bad positions, never accepting a bad position will make it tough for Petroski to get off on much of his success. Petroski obviously has an advantage early on in this matchup. He's the more powerful striker, and obviously he has some nasty chokes, but I think that we'll see Malkoun do a good enough job in terms of staying away from that danger, causing a high level of output and activity, and that will result in Petroski's trying to slow down and allowing Malkoun to run away with this matchup in the second and third rounds. Look for Malkoun to grind this fight out and cash the first step in our Locky two-step. The second step that I got for you guys is going to be Lupita Godinez, who's taking on Verna Jandiroba. Now, this is a high-level fight in this strawweight division, but I do think that Godinez's ability to control where this fight takes place with the wrestling advantage that she'll have will allow her to keep this fight in the stand-up realm, where I think that she has a significant advantage over Jandiroba. Even if this fight ends up on the mat, I think that we'll see good enough work from Godinez to stay out of submissions, stay out of bad spots, and I wouldn't be surprised if Godinez actually ends up using her wrestling offensively in the second and third rounds when the threat of Jandiroba's jiu-jitsu is not as high as it was earlier on in the matchup. But I think for Godinez to do this sweat-free, it will likely come by stopping the takedowns and pummeling Jandiroba on the feet. Look for Godinez to go out there, maybe win by knockout. It's possible, considering the advantage that she has in that realm, in my opinion. But regardless, we just need her to win outright to cash this Locky two-step, and I think she'll be able to do so. Now, if you were to lock it in earlier this week, on Monday, when I dropped it for the Patreon folks, you were able to get plus 125. Now, to lock it in, you're dropping about 20 cents and you're getting at plus 105. Now let's talk about the Locky Trinity. If you want to complete it, you're going to throw in Bill Algeo, who's taking on Kyle Nelson. Now, Nelson's been on a decent run, 2-fight winning streak, pulling off the upset in both of those matchups, but I think Bill Algeo will be a tougher matchup for him, considering his unorthodox movement, striking, and kicking game, which will cause Kyle Nelson a lot of trouble in terms of crashing the pocket and getting off on his power punching style. Now, he's been improving, obviously. That win over Fernando Padilla was very impressive back in September, but I think Algeo presents a completely different puzzle that Kyle Nelson will be unable to solve. So give me Bill Algeo to complete the Locky Trinity, which earlier this week, once again, on the Patreon page, was plus 227, and now you guys can get it down at plus 191. Still not a bad line there, but feeling very good about those three legs and hoping that we can talk about how they cashed next week when I drop the next Locky two-step / Locky Trinity for you guys. All right, I'll see you guys in a few hours here as I will now drop, or next we'll be dropping the 3 best prop bets for UFC Atlantic City. See you guys then. Peace.